Welcome to our final conference of the Project Employee Mentoring Program for Young People at Risk for Labor Force Entry. We will have our meeting in English because we have many foreign participants. So, in order everyone to feel connected and joined in the meeting, we will have our presentation in English and the discussion later. Very briefly, I will go through the agenda. What we will going to show you today. First, I'm going to present you very briefly the needs and the target groups that we addressed with this project. Then the partners from the consortium will present you the main outputs of the project and some insights from the trainings that we had during the project. So let me start. I will be very, very brief because my part is the most boring part. The interesting is next. So the project is funded under Erasmus Plus program. The budget is a little over 134 euros, and the duration was 2 years. Originally, it was for a year and a half, but due to the pandemic crisis and the many restrictions that we had in all countries, we needed to prolong it. So we did, and hope we are finishing now successfully. This is the partnership. The WZF is the leading organization. The partners are Law and Internet Foundation from Bulgaria, Emina from Hungary, Katja, I'm sorry, Целейски младински център, Явни завод за младинско културу и образование, информирание и спорт. Thank you. From Slovenia, TDM 2000 from Italy, and Yashar University from Turkey. The main objectives of the project was to develop a suitable mentoring mechanism for young people at risk so that they can find advice, mentoring, and peer learning with the aim to integrate into the labor market and, of course, to reach successful professional realizations. I think we achieved that through design and developing online multilingual mentoring e-hub. You will hear about that more later on. Elaborate skills in the target group and I'm sorry, this is Skills and Competencies Handbook. You will hear about it too. We have organized 4-day joint staff training, and we prepared 12 youth workers to pilot the e-hub. And we organized the blended mobility for 24 young people at risk in Celje, Slovenia. We did a promotion of the online mentoring hub across youth and youth workers communities in all partners country. And of course, across Europe, we have many publications, very successful dissemination activity in Italy. Federico will tell you later. And the final objective is to put forward the policy toolkit to policy and decision makers and other key stakeholders in efforts to enhance the integration of young people at risk into the labor market. I already mentioned the target groups. Those are the needs, the young people with fewer opportunity, because what we find out is that they need information and support from the mentors. It's not easy sometimes to orient yourself in the labor market, so the role of the mentor is very important. Same goes for the economically disadvantaged young people, the young migrants and refugees, because although I'm not so sure how many migrants and refugees did we reach, but we can check that and inform you later. And the youth workers, who, as I already said, was trained during the project. The main project results that we achieved: the mentoring e-hub in 6 language versions, the Skills and Competencies Handbook, the policy toolkit, the trained trainers and young people. The important thing about the training of the young people was that it was a blended training. the face-to-face part in Cele for 1 week, I think it was, and then we had a online training. That's why it's called blended, and we reached more than 150 young people. Of course, the project has its own social media profiles in Facebook. We did some multiplier events. This one is the last one. Then many activities for dissemination. This was very briefly. Of course, if you have more, if you have questions about some specifics of the project, I can answer that later on. But now I want to give the floor to our partners from the Law and Internet Foundation to present you the Employee Mentoring eHub, the place that all things happens.
Yeah,
Dimislava, the floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you, Mario. Hello, everyone. I am Dimislava from Law and Internet Foundation. We are leading IO1, which is about the eHub, the development, the elaboration of the eHub. And since it's an eHub, I don't have a presentation, but I will show you how it works. So let me share my screen. Just a second. Okay, maybe I should open it in Chrome. I hope you can see the exact screen that I want to share.
Yes. Yes.
You see the eHub, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is the eHub. This is the employee eHub. As you can see, it's available in the 6 partners languages. On the left side, there is the menu with the network, news, events part, also the section Meet Your Mentor, in which is the list with the mentors. As you can see, we have mentors from Turkey, Slovenia, all partner countries, and the list is quite long. When we go back, it is important to mention that to register as a mentor, you should click on the button how to become a mentor, and the registration form is being opened. If you register as a mentor, it's quite important to complete all of the mandatory fields and to give as much information as possible, because it's really important to have a profound mentor profile in order for the mentees to choose which mentor they want to be assigned to. Also, how to get a mentor is the field in which you click, and this is the registration form for mentees. They fill it in. Also, it's important to both for mentors and mentees to fill in this field for spoken languages, because some of our mentors speak many languages, and it's good for the mentees to know this thing so they can communicate easily. As you can see, here is the Skills and Competencies Handbook, which Effie will talk about later on. Indeed, when you click here, the Skills and Competencies Handbook is opened. This is the English version, but we also have, for example, let's click on the Turkish. And here is the translated handbook in Turkish. Here it is, the translated handbook in Turkish. Also, you can see that we have information about the partnership, about us, the partners, but let me just translate it in English because it's quite confusing. Now I will log in as a mentee in order to show you how the profile of the mentees look and what functionalities the platform has for mentees. This is how the platform looks if you register as a mentee. You can see the courses to which the mentee is enrolled, in particular coaching, learning styles, public speaking, and presentation skills. Also, the Skills and Competencies Handbook is, of course, available here. I hope you can hear me, because I cannot hear you. Sorry, are you there?
We are not speaking.
Oh, okay,
That's
but you
fine.
can see, right? Everything is okay. Okay. So it's important to mention that when you register as a mentee, you receive, and not only mentees, but also mentors, they receive confirmation links. In particular, for the mentees, when they receive the confirmation link, they should click on it, of course, fill in the username and password, and then they're automatically being forwarded to the self-evaluation tool, or the so-called questionnaire. Here you can see that the particular mentee has already completed the activity, but this self-evaluation tool is based on the Skills and Competencies Handbook, and it consists of 34 questions, which are scaling questions, or the so-called skills and competences that the mentee rates in order to know and self-evaluate their skills from 1 to 5, which is 1 is, low level of competence, and 5 is high level of competence. Here, when you click on submitted answers, you can see the graphs in which are available the responses of all mentees who completed the questionnaire. Or you can compare yourself to the others. You can see how many people rated communication skills with 3 or 4 or 5, and all of the analysis of the answers is available here. So I'll go back to the home page to show you the course categories. These are the course categories under which are the available courses. You see that we have career guidance, pre-employment phase, professional development, work experience and networking, mentoring, and others. If we click on the category career guidance, for example, you can see the courses that we have under this category. We have coaching, job and career tips, entrepreneurship and lean startup method, and also career orientation. As I showed to you, here are the courses to which the particular mentee is enrolled. But for example, if we click to entrepreneurship and lean startup method, the mentee is not enrolled to this course. So you should click. The mentee should click to the enroll button, and here are the resources which are available under this course. If we want, we can translate this to Bulgarian, for example, and here is the Bulgarian topic. All the topics are translated in the partner languages, and here is the course itself, which has, maybe I should open the English version, just in case everybody understands. But as you can see, there is a abstract, keywords, introduction, and the courses are really profound. But most importantly is that they're having a practical part. So it's more easier for the mentees to understand, ask questions and stuff like that. You can see that we have other resources like announcements, development plan. The development plan indeed is really important because, as you can see, I am enrolled for this course, and as a mentee, I can make a development plan. I can add my own items, I can set my own goals, and when I click on these boxes, at 100%, I have fulfilled my goals. So now I can issue a Youth Pass certificate, which is an important part of the eHub, that it enables the mentees to request certificates, and in particular, as I said, Youth Pass certificates. So when a mentee completes a particular course, they should click on request certificate. You can see that automatically all my data is being filled in, and they can choose and select the competence on which they should be certified, and then click here on request certificate, and we receive an email and we issue the certificate for them. As I said before, here is the section to meet your mentor. Here the mentees can choose the mentor they want to teach them, train them. So let me, for example, choose Anna from Hungary. So I can read her and see what she has included in her profile, and then I should click to add the contacts. And then She should approve my request so we can message each other and stuff like that. I can ask her questions. And yes, what else should I show you? Maybe some of our other courses, for example, yeah, career orientation. As you can see here, we have more, let's say, resources. You can ask, if you're a mentor, you can include other resources, files, even quizzes. This is indeed called chat. Do you consider that the provided resources are useful? So you know how the mentees feel, what if they want something else to be included to the course. Also, you can include test questions. The mentees should complete the questions if it's mandatory or if it's not, because this also can be customized. As you can see here, for example, let's open the Slovenian translation. The idea is for all of the users to have access to all courses in all languages that are available. And indeed, this is it. This is the platform. It should be exploited. It should be used because it's Moodle-based. It's really not that hard and not that hard to use. You can see that here is the questionnaire again and the network in which the mentees can collaborate, can exchange ideas. Indeed, in this section, network, this is part of the peer learning idea, because here the mentees can exchange ideas even with the mentors. They can impose questions. The mentees can answer to mentees, and mentors can answer to mentees, which is quite important. And let me show you also that under some categories, yeah, it's loading. Yeah, maybe something happened. Yeah, I just wanted to show you that we also have videos under some courses. Let me just check. Yeah, here are the videos. Under some courses, we have not only the written part and the course itself, but also some videos which are opened. And here are the videos. You can watch them. Indeed, these are videos from our blended mobility in Slovenia that we had with mentees from all partner countries. And you can just click and play the video and see what we've done there, because we did some great exercises on the particular course, which in this case is job and career tips. It's also good to mention that we all have developed the courses, and also that the questionnaire is based on skills and competences, which are included, as I said, in the Skills and Competencies Handbook, and which we identified as the most important for mentees, for young people to have in order to find a job and to enter the labor market. So if you have questions in relation to the eHub, just ask me. I just presented the most important features of it and functions of it. So if you have questions when you register, I'm open to answer to them.
Okay. Thank you, Dimislava. It was very interesting and very detailed. I hope everything is clear, but at the end of the meeting, we will have discussion anyway.
Okay.
So I give the floor to Effie from Yashar University to present us the Employee Skills and Competences Handbook. Effie?
Good morning, everyone. Hello. Thank you, Mario. Thank you, Vuzefe, for the invitation and for organizing the conference, the final conference of our employee project. It's really nice to be back in Sofia after many years for me, and enjoying your lovely city. Let me quickly pass to share my screen and, okay, the presentation. Is it okay? Can you see the presentation right now?
No.
Okay, let me try again then.
You should choose sharing individual screen.
Yes, that's okay. Yeah, that's it. Now you can.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So many different online communication tools. We are messing them up most of the time. So welcome again to our final conference and the presentation of the Skills and Competencies Handbook. The handbook itself was one of the main deliverables of our project, and it falls under the deliverable of the intellectual output too. The development of the handbook was based on a desk research and on qualitative interviews, insights of young people with limited opportunities who are not in employment, education, or training, and who are economically disadvantaged, as well as young migrants. Each one of the partners have, let's say, selected young people who are in the target groups, and also experts, mentors, which also were engaged in these qualitative interviews in order to understand the needs of the target audience. We also, under intellectual output too, collected good practices from our countries, but from all over Europe also. And based on all these results, the questionnaire that Dimislava mentioned earlier was designed. The analysis of the questionnaire and results, and also the analysis of the qualitative interviews, gave us all the feedback that we needed in order to design the Skills and Competences Handbook of Employee project. The main aim of the handbook was to reveal a set of key skills and competences in order to empower the young people who are facing difficulties in entering the job market, young people who would like to improve oneself for a better career, and also mentors striving for assisting young people to be employed and develop their career throughout their life. Also, the handbook aimed to form the basis of the following intellectual output of the project, which was the employee policy toolkit. This is the result. As you can see, the cover and the inner page of our handbook mentions, of course, the project that was funding our let's say, project, the partners, and the authors of the handbook are all mentioned in the inner page. A table of contents, of course, and then the chapters which follow, but I will get back to the exact content of the handbook in a few minutes. We have originally prepared the handbook in English, and then after it was officially launched, we have translated it in Bulgarian, Slovenian, Hungarian, Italian, and Turkish. You can see all handbooks appearing in our screen. So any of the young people who would want to use the handbook will be able to read it in his or her own language. Also, as Dimislava mentioned earlier, the handbook is available under our hub. It can be reached easily, opened in order to navigate through it, and furthermore, it can be downloaded and saved for the users to keep it and use it whenever they want. So Dimislava explained really nicely all the functionalities of the hub, and as we said, the Skills and Competences Handbook can also be found there. Now, referring to the contents of the handbook, besides an introduction, which is presenting the employee project and the vision and mission of the handbook, we have the major, let's say, the central part of the handbook devoted to the skills and competencies, which are useful for all young people to improve their employability and later on also enhance their career path. The handbook, the second part of the handbook, starts with the bird's eye view, with information related to youth unemployment in Europe and the partner countries. The key skills and competencies are the section which follows next. The key skills are presented and the key competencies, and I will come back in more detail in a few minutes. How the employee hub can be used in combination with the handbook, and then some information about the European qualification framework. Of course, the handbook closes with a few final words, the partners' profiles, and the annex with all the good practices collected in our desk research, as I said before. Now, in the content, the state of the art of youth unemployment in the partner countries in the EU is presented. So this section contains an overview of the state of the art regarding the issue of youth unemployment in Europe, with a focus on the countries of the entities composing the partnership of the employee project. It includes information about statistics, relevant national policies in the field, and to which extent they are in plan or implemented. Strategies put in practice by public bodies, as well as related projects and good practices implemented by NGOs. As we said before, the partner countries are Bulgaria, Slovenia, Italy, Turkey, and Hungary, and together with some general information and statistics about the EU, the handbook contains all these information which we believe that are useful for whoever will deal with young people in their search for employment. The key skills were identified, as Dimislava also mentioned before, with the analysis of the questionnaire results uploaded on the hub, but also as a result of the analysis of the qualitative interviews that were conducted before. You can see on our screen the top 10 skills which we selected, we identified as the most important ones according to our research. Communication, both verbal and non-verbal communication skills, was acknowledged as the first one. Public speaking and presentation skills, intercultural communication skills, teamwork, reliability and responsibility, adaptability, problem-solving capacities, critical observation, self-management, and time management were the ones, as I said before, that came up as the most important key skills from our research. Then 5 top key, let's say, competencies, the applications of office, let's say, tools like word processors, spreadsheets, presentations, tools, etc., were one of the key competencies acknowledged as necessary for employability, for employment. Social media accounts management, online communication tools like the ones that we are using during this, let's say, special period of our lives where COVID-19 has forced us to change the way that we communicate. I have to tell you, though, that when we started identifying the key competencies, COVID did not exist at that time. So we foreseen the importance of online communication tools before it was proved to us. Language of proficiency also, and digital tools, usage of digital tools competencies were identified as key. The content also continues with a description of how Employee Hub functions, what are the main elements of the hub, the self-evaluation tool which exists there, and how we can use the Employee Skills and Competencies Handbook and the Employee Hub together for improving our, let's say, results. The European qualification framework and a description of its 8 EQF levels was also included in the handbook for assisting young people understand better how what it is and how it works. In the annex, as I said before, we have collected 24 good practices in total. Each partner has identified 3 national best case studies and 1 international case study, and all of them were described, and further information, links, let's say, for these best case practices were collected, and all of them are included in the handbook in the annex. With this, let's say, brief presentation, we are thanking you for your attention. And as Dimislava said, we are here for your questions during the discussion session that will follow. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Effie. Very interesting presentation from you too. So now I give the floor to the representative of EMINA from Hungary to present the Employee Policy Toolkit. Kata, I think the floor is yours.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hi. Sorry, I cannot put my camera because I'm in dormitory and the VC here is super slow, but I'm trying to present it.
Can you please speak up?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I don't know if you can see my presentation right now.
Yes, we can.
Oh, okay, great. So I'm Kata from Hungary, from the EMINA Career Guidance Foundation. So first off, to summarize the vision of the current project, youth employment is one of the biggest problems worldwide. It has lifelong effects such as on income and on employment stability in every country. In the European Union, the youth unemployment is much higher for other age groups. The problem is even more serious among the youth coming from group at risk. The Employ project was designed to guide young people who face challenges and difficulties when entering into the labor market. It's helping them by providing them with skills, competences, and advices from professional mentors. The main finding of the joint staff training was that during the program, the participants were able to learn about the Skills and Competencies handbook, as well as how these, alongside with practical guidance, can be used to guide young people in the job market and throughout their own personal development. A full training on eHub in combination with the Employee Handbook and all the former features was done, and participants can now navigate and use eHub in the most efficient way. The mentors also could self-assess their mentoring skills throughout the program, and the participants were provided with all the right tools to find materials and support if needed. To summarize the lesson that were learned from the blended mobility, I could summarize it the best by quoting some of the participants and their evolution described in their youth passes. One of the participants wrote that I expressed my ideas, opinions, and challenges in a foreign language. Also, I had the opportunity to listen and reflect on the challenges, needs, and opinions of my peers during the training. Another participant wrote the training contributed to develop or understand of being creative and inclusive, and other. So the feedback of the mentoring session provided through the mentoring eHub. Generally, all sessions were found interesting and appealing, with special highlight to how sessions on development of soft skills and for employability were practically useful. Other aspects, such as sessions related to more practical approach on how to get a job with CV making or the process concerning cover letters, were very well received by the participants. The mentees were mostly interested in the topics related to communication, job interview preparation, and CV making. Also, one of the most useful aspects of the eHub was that it provided the mentees with the opportunity to communicate with different mentors in order to get familiar with different approaches. To conclude the communication during the project with the target groups, the project and its outputs were communicated with the target group by using online meeting tools, email, social media posts, press releases, and one-to-one conversation. A variety of communication tools were used during the project, and the target group and stakeholders were mainly reached through digital communication tools. As a part of the multiplier events, the more relevant stakeholders were directly contacted. Moreover, phone calls and messaging apps were also used in order to instantly answer the question placed by the mentees and other interested parties. The results and updates related to employees' implementation were disseminated by using websites and other social media. The information gathered in the process of the elaboration of the Employee Skills and Competencies Handbook, the desk research and the qualitative interviews and synthesizing previous experiences in the field of mentoring were the main methods. Both primary and secondary resources were used, although the main challenge was to synthesize different experiences and capacities when creating the handbook. Let me say a few words about the unemployment in Hungary. It has grown considerably after the accession to the EU. In 2004, it was 252,000 unemployed in Hungary, versus in 2013, it was 449,000 unemployed. Following 2010, the level remained high until 2012, when it began to decrease thanks to the efforts of the government through launching workfare programs, which is also called foster workers. The participant in this program is compulsory for the unemployed, and those who participate in are called the foster workers. Since 2012, according to the modified labor law, all jobs to the labor offices offered to the unemployed persons are to be accepted by them, even if the job has much lower qualification than the unemployed person has. The situation of young people in the labor market has also deteriorated during the years of the membership. The number of young unemployed under 25 years of age was 56,000 in 2004 and 84,000 in 2013. In the last few years, the government did very little to prevent this, compared with the efforts to push the public deficits under 3%, which it did successfully. In 2021, the unemployment rate was 4%. In June, it was 193,000 unemployed in Hungary, which is less than it was at the same time last year. But this number is also more than it was in May in 2021. And thank you for your attention. That would have been my presentation.
Thank you, Kata. Now I give the floor to Katja from Slovenia to give us some insights from the blended mobility in Celje. Katja, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Maria. I hope everybody can hear me. Okay. And I hope you see the presentation as well.
Yes, Katja, it's clear.
Thank you so much. So I just joined the pictures because pictures tell more than words. But however, I will use some words to describe the blended mobility.
Katja, can you switch to full presentation mode?
Oh, of course, yes. Okay.
Still waiting?
Not yet. It is.
Okay. Let me try again.
Katja, we as non-formal education guys are not very good with this PowerPoint stuff.
Yes, we are rather talkers. That is true. Let me, sorry.
Share again, like I did.
Yes.
It needs a double effort.
But does it show or not at all?
Yeah, we can see it.
Yeah, it shows. You have just to click on the small screen with the play icon on top on the left, I think.
Because I have it in full screen for myself.
For yourself.
Okay. Where is that? Now?
No. Strange.
But you...
Yeah.
Okay. But let's say you will see the spirit, okay? So that we continue. Let's say it like that. So yes, I'm coming from Celsky Mladinski Center in Slovenia. We are a partner in this lovely project, and we are very happy that we could host the blended mobility in Celje for 5 days during the end of August of this year. It was said something previous about the blended mobility itself, but blended in many ways. So let me explain. First, blended because we took the efforts of 3 mentees and 1 mentor per each country. So there was a level of difference, a level of knowledge and skills concerning our topics that we were going to address from different people. So this is also the blended part, taking mentees and mentors together in the training itself. And the other blended part was also, we did it face-to-face with several of the mentees and the mentors, but also we did it online. So we had some participants online joining the session, as well that we also filmed some sessions that we held during the blended mobility. And like Demislava said, some of those videos are also available on the eHub and also on the Facebook page of the project. So I really invite you to also have a look there to have more concrete ideas what sessions and activities took place during this blended mobility. So of course the purpose was to establish direct training between the mentees and mentors to give this transfer of knowledge from the mentors itself, who have a long-standing experiences in building relationships and guiding and also fostering mentorship itself, and also to transfer this to mentees who maybe through this experience will become later on future mentors. We never know, we hope. And so this was one of the points, that this transfer of knowledge between one group to another group. And like I said, we produced 11 different videos that are also part of the eHub itself. At the blended mobility, we covered a lot of topics. We wanted to cover different topics because also the mentors itself have experience from different varieties, from different topics. And we wanted to have the place where the mentors could also facilitate their own sessions and give the best they can give, because they are really knowledgeable in a specific topic. So just to sum up a bit of the topics that we addressed were the presentation on the CV and the interviews itself. We had some role playing on interviews, which is also very exciting. We had a session on communication skills, on verbal and nonverbal communication, and also presentation skills and networking skills, which are also very important to address. We had some exercises and practical exercises exactly on teamwork and problem solving. We included some session on social media, mainly focused on LinkedIn as a platform to enhance someone's reputation and to put your CV online for others to see and communicate. And LinkedIn is a more professional way of social media that can be used for promoting itself, basically. And then we had virtual sessions, also going through the eHub itself with the online mentoring from different courses. And not to forget and not to mention a very important part also is the youth path itself. Because at the beginning of the blended mobility, we were asking the participants to evaluate their knowledge and evaluate their skills based on these topics, which I already mentioned just before. To have a baseline, to a starting point, to know where they are. And throughout the week of our training, we were addressing different skills and different competences and hoping to elaborate them and enhance them. Therefore, we had to see if there was any progress made at the end. So we also asked them at the end of the training to evaluate what do they believe, what has happened during this week. Have they addressed any competences? Have they gained any knowledges? And it was shown before by the Amina colleagues of some summarization of the blended mobility of what the participants said, that it was fruitful. First of all, what they said was in the forefront was learning by doing. That there was a combination from the theoretical part as well as practical exercises and the interaction they had with mentors. So this is the main part of the biggest thing that all of the participants said, learning by doing, which is also in the forefront of informal education and also very important to any kind of projects, especially like this employ one. I forgot to show you the pictures. Let's do it. Hope that you see them. When I start talking, I forget to press enter. So those are different activities that they took place. Also at the beginning, the first 2 days, we had like get to know each other sessions and energizers in order to build a really good and strong group dynamic, and also to make sure that every participant feels safe in their environment to share, to ask questions, and just to be, a kid exploring the brains of the mentors itself. So this would be like a summary for my part from the blended mobility. Of course, happy to answer any other questions that might arise during and afterwards. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Katja. Very interesting. Now I give the floor to Federico from TDM 2000 from Italy to share with us some messages from the mentoring sessions with young people and, of course, the dissemination activity in Italy. Federico, the floor is yours.
Hi, Mario. Thank you. Hi, everyone. I hope you can hear me well. It's a pleasure to be here today morning. I am Federico, as presented already, and I come from Italy. I am representing TDM 2000, one of the partner organizations of the employee project. And I have to say, first of all, that it's been a very long journey, and it's been a very huge pleasure to work with all of the partners involved in this project. Because first of all, you have to understand that we were exchanging emails every day on an incredible rate, but every time this kind of stuff was beeping and appearing, I knew that it was for important information. So it was a very concentrated communication time, but very productive, which is not the case of something which is always happens. as I was mentioning before, we as non-formal education guys are not very confident with the use of these PowerPoint tools. That's why I'm gonna mostly talk and show you a couple of things, as Katia did. So regarding the first part that was mentioned by Mario, so regarding the messages from the young people and what actually like they got from the mentoring session, I will try, if I can, to show you a couple of pictures that are actually part of. Let me check if I manage to. No, I think it's not this one. If I manage to share the screen that I would like to. It's not easy, of course, to manage it. So I wanted to show you actually like some of the pictures that were taken during the multiplier event that we held in Porto Scuso in Sardinia in Italy, where actually we had the chance to get in touch with, actually now I think it's going, to get in touch with different youngsters as well as potential mentors from both from our local environment and from abroad. We had the chance to involve about 50 people within it in this very beautiful and kind of different setting compared to usual conferences. So the main message that I want to actually tell you is that we were kind of worried in the beginning about what could be the reactions, both by the young people and by other people that are stakeholders that are supposed to be involved within this project and the use of the platform and of the other tools that have been developed during the employee project. Because sometimes we concentrate a lot on the objectives and the things that we have in mind, and it happens then instead that the people that are your real target group maybe are seeing your work in a different way. But in this case, I was very positively surprised by how the people reacted to this, because there were a lot of questions and a lot of very big interest. And I must say that this came both from the side of the young people, which participated with enthusiasm in the different opportunities that were shown to them, and the people that were potentially other mentors. I can tell that we had already like a lot of interesting insights, also from people that were not directly involved as mentors, but are coming from other stakeholders positions. So, for example, one of the participants to the multiplayer event is working as a recruiter in Milan, and was showing already interested in having like a possible additional feature for people working in that field, in order to be able to basically connect with the youngsters that are following the courses in the platform, or that anyway are being part of the mentoring process within the employee program, in order to get to find new talents and the possibility to scout for them. So this can be already like a very good indication and possible inspiration for us for the future to work on additional features. Once more, the youngsters, as was already mentioned, also like through the analysis that was very well presented by the Hungarian partner, Mina, shown a very big appreciation about the fact to be able to interact with different mentors through the platform, to do it in different languages, to get to know like different tools and different styles. So that the activities of mentoring are for sure a success, and looking forward to continue with this. I know that Gusev has in plan to keep on using the platform, exploiting it more and expanding it. So for sure it will be a very useful tool. Regarding the dissemination, actually, we had like different things that we were running during this time. Of course, we have, as mentioned, like a Facebook page, as well as a LinkedIn group. Also, we have been running the platform as a website for dissemination, and we held like 3 multiplier events, of which this is the last one, which involved together around 140 people between stakeholders and youngsters. And to resume all of the things that have been done during the project, I would like to show you another small product that we realized together with my colleagues, which is a short video, which is summarizing actually like the different things that have been done during the project. It's done with animations, so I will show you what actually is the result of the work that was done through this. It's quite non-formal, I can anticipate to you. And on an important notice, technically this video was planned since the beginning to be actually one thing professionally realized and with a budget for it. Nonetheless, unfortunately, we didn't have budget in the end for this video, but we did it anyway because we are very stubborn people, and if we decide to do something, then we go to it until the end. So first of all, I hope you can see the screen for now. Yes, and I will start, and I hope that you can also like hear the audio. And yeah, that was it. Hope you liked it. It's very short and funny, and it more or less summarizes these 2 years of adventure with the employee project that we had all together, which, in my opinion, and from what I heard so far from everyone involved, were quite successful. Thank you, and that's it from me.
Thanks, Federico. Just one question: is there a sound in the video? Because we didn't hear anything.
That was the question, actually, if you could hear it. There is a sound, and actually what I will do right now is to put in a chat also the link so you can watch it in another time.
Great.
And anyway, of course, like we will share it through the social media, so you can also like watch it in a
Mario, you're muted.
Well, the important thing is that I'm talking, right? So thanks, Federico. Thank you once again. Well, it was very interesting. We are ahead of time. That's what I said, which is not usual with us. We love to talk, as you said. So we can move to the discussions right now. Let me clear for the participants that you can, if you feel more comfortable, you
Mario?
can ask. Yes, I think.
Yeah, since we do have time, and I was quite, short in my presentation because I didn't want to delay the discussions. But since we do have time and we are ahead of schedule, could I share my screen and present the handbook, the live handbook, what the others, let's say, can download? That might be also
Of course,
a nice contribution.
Just
Okay.
let me finish to all the participants. If you have questions and you feel more comfortable to ask them in Bulgarian, please do. We will translate. Okay, Yefi, go.
Let me share my screen again. Entire screen. Share. Okay. So if someone goes down, no, okay. I need to go to page 1. So, and also I can page display, automatically scroll. So this is our handbook, as you can see. You already saw in my presentation the first and second pages, the contents, the introduction, and as we said before, the first chapter of the bird's eye view with statistics and information about EU and the partners countries. I just wanted to stay on the key skills and competencies, let's say, chapter, which is the key skills that we want our young people to be able to achieve or improve if they already have them. So as you can see, each one of the skills is presented as a separate chapter. We have some theoretical background information for each one of the skills. This one is the verbal and non-verbal communication one. And then we do have short do's and don'ts for each one of the skills that we want to present. As you can see here, some messages coded for easy to understand for young people. And further on, we have guidelines on how to improve on each one of the skills, connecting the handbook with the hub. By clicking here, the young people can reach the courses which we have designed in our hub for them to improve the specific skill. References, of course, and further reading or watching videos are selected for each one of the skills presented in the handbook. So the structure for each one of the skills is the same. The same also for the competences. You can see, as I described before, the do's and don'ts in each case, and guidelines on how to improve, links that mentees can follow in order to progress further, messages for them, and further reading with references, of course. The same continues. I'll go a little bit quicker for, let's say, the key competencies part. And we have information about all the key competencies. For example, the social media accounts management and the personal branding that each one of us should do in order to improve the chances that we have for finding a job. Again, do's and don'ts and how to improve links and information for further elaboration. Later on, okay, we continue with the employee hub, the functionalities description, the European qualification framework, as I said before, with its 8 levels, and our partners' profiles, and the annex with the good practices, the best practices that we have collected. All of them are described according to their aim, goal, the methods used, the progression of the best practice, and of course, some information about the target group, the group size, implementation, evaluation, and links, as I said, for researching further all the best practices, the good practices collected. I don't want to take more from your time. This was a really quickly scroll down the manual for you to be motivated to download it and explore it further on your own. So that's the last page, I think. Okay, reaching out. It's kind of a long work, collecting all this and putting all this information together. So we hope that you will find it useful and enjoy it. Thank you once more for your attention.
Thank you, Effie. Thank you.
Mario, I believe I didn't take too much time again.
No, we are right on time.
From our valuable discussion.
It was very interesting to see how the handbook looks inside and how useful it is.
Presentations are sometimes, slides are not helping us.
To see what the real product
really
is.
Present the product, the deliverable itself. So it was a nice opportunity since we had time. Thank you
for that. Thank you for that. Well, at this point, I was thinking to do it at the end, but at this point, I would like to extend an invitation to all participants. Please, you are free to register in the eHub, and you will have access to all the products. As you saw, the handbook is very useful, and it's not just for young people, but also for the mentors, for career professionals, etc. So it is, thanks Federico, this is the link to the eHub where you can register. So to repeat, you can ask questions both in English and Bulgarian. And what I like to discuss with you all is the role of the business. I mean, how the entrepreneurial environment evolves to enhance the professional development of young people. Is it important to business to develop such programs or to provide, let's say, on-site training, not training, mentoring? Because I believe there are enough trainings, or maybe not, but mentoring during the let's say, apprenticeships or actual work, and of course the role of the government in the integration of the young people at risk in the labor market, and not just in our countries, but in Europe as a whole. Does anyone want to reflect this?
Maybe I can go on the mentoring aspect from talking from Slovenia's standpoint of view as well. When young person finishes the formal education, he's one of many with the same experiences, with the same degree, and it's difficult to set themselves apart from others in the eyes of the employers. So it's very important that either he uses the opportunities in settings like informal education to get additional references and additional papers to put inside the CV to make them stand out. But it's very important maybe to find somebody that can be a mentor, a coach. There are many titles that we can put to somebody that's helping a young person guide through dangerous waters when it comes to entering the labor and employment market. So I think the mentoring and the mentors itself are becoming more and more important because I think they have a more personal and more individual approach to each of young people. I think that is the main good point of a mentor, because the young people are very heterogeneous, different one from another. So I think the benefit of the mentor itself is that we can adapt. and we can communicate to that specific young person in their way of communication so that they're understanding, and we can be very customized in approaches that we take towards young people. So I think mentoring is growing in importance, and I think the young people should choose more who they choose as mentors or their coaches to advise them, also in the first steps of taking in the labor market or getting a job, etc. So I think the importance is growing when it comes to mentorship.
Thank you. But you know, the thing is, it's only normal for us as youth organizations and universities to address those needs. The thing here is this enough? Shouldn't we involve more the business itself, and to some extent, or to extent that we may, the government as well? So should we be the active part to take the first steps, or maybe it's the other way around? I'm not sure. Yes, Effie.
Mario, speaking, as you said, from the academic point of view, we as universities, I wanted also to continue what Katja started saying, the importance of mentorship towards young people. And we see it. I mean, I'm sure that you have exactly the same experience here in Sofia at your university. We see how much the young people need us. I mean, they come to you for advice. They come to you to, especially when they graduate and they start looking for a job. Even if they're not, let's say, in the needs category, the ones which are, let's say, with limited access to employability. They do have a university degree. They do, let's say, have the means to search for a job or to follow trainings, which, as you said, are out there. Besides that, they need the guidance, they need the help, they need the hand that a mentor, a good mentor can give them. And if these mentors have experience from the business world, as you said, because it's really important to guide the mentors to know how difficult the business world is, how difficult it is to survive, or how difficult it is to find first a job and then to survive and grow a career in the business sector. So having mentors from the businesses, it's really important according to my opinion. They know what are the skills and the competences which are currently necessary to support a young person to find a job first and then to grow inside that job and that profession. So yes, collaboration with mentors coming from the business sector or from the government, as you mentioned before, is really important. The role of the government maybe is kind of substituted by all these NGOs which are specialized in youth work, or by the organizations that governmental, let's say, organizations specialized on youth work. And youth work is growing so much all over Europe. I mean, the importance of youth work is evident today. How all these youth centers are supporting our youngsters in every path of their way. Thank you.
Thank you, Effie. Thank you. So for me, it's kind of obvious that we didn't exhaust the subject of youth unemployment with our project. So maybe it will be good if we can share now or later on what should be the next steps to enhance the integration of the young people into the labor market. Any thoughts on that? What should we do next? Yes, Federico, please.
Yeah, I will connect with your question, and actually to the previous question as well, because I think they are connected, and it's also like related to what I was explaining before. Now, the thing is that sometimes we get in love with our ideas and our projects, and we see them as so good, but we forget that first of all they should be done for someone, and that means that we should first of all examine what are the ideas, the needs, the visions of these target groups that we are trying to give something to. We cannot act as how to say divinities that are telling what is best for everyone and watching everything from above and telling you have to do this and this is the way to follow. But we have to first of all like collect what are the thoughts and the needs, and then from there we can build up. And this, of course, like goes on the side of the young people, which are the main target groups of the employee project, and also like will be the main target groups of any other action that we can foresee for the future. But on the other hand, like what we are maybe lacking is really like trying to see what are the employers looking for. So having like a further view on talking with association of local entrepreneurs, different trade unions, why not like single entrepreneurs, multinational corporation, etc., and trying to understand from them what are they looking for, what could make easier for them to understand who they can hire, who they can involve in their actions, what kind of skills they're looking for, what kind of actions would make their job easier and better. Because from my experience with connecting with policymakers, what comes out, which is very surprising, is this: the young people on one side, the people that we work with on a daily basis, are telling that the institutions are not listening to them. When you speak to the institutions, they say that young people don't talk with them, so they don't know what to do. Of course, it's not always the case, but it's very common understanding. So to find this kind of common grounds where to speak and understand each other is sometimes difficult. And for the employers is kind of the same situation. They are eager to see new, fresh forces coming out and reaching them and giving them opportunities and work. But sometimes they lack the connections, or simply the efforts that are made are based on a conception which is old and not connected with what are the real needs of the market. So I think that to work on this connection between the employers and the youngsters that are following these mentoring paths would be like a very good next step. So to make it concrete, it's not only like looking for where could you go in terms of direction, but having like some real points towards which you can aim and do real job.
Okay, thanks, Federico. Yeah. So further work is needed. Katja, please.
Thank you. And you said further on what we should do further on. I had one thought. Because I'm sure in your country as well, we have employment offices, which are very important when it comes to helping young people. But on the other side, I think I'm saying for Slovenia, we need to understand that people working in the employment offices usually have like 50, 100 young people to one person. So it's not reasonable to expect that they will have a mentoring one-on-one individual approach where they can talk for 8 hours or 10 hours because they have hundreds of them. So I think this is also important, that the employment offices are under-nurtured when it comes to their staff itself. And maybe, I'm not sure, also having the specific training, those officers in mentoring, in maybe some guidance in understanding the troubles and in setting goals specifically, etc. like this. So I think this is also one way we can take the discussion and we can think about it, because usually the majority of young people, when they finish, at least in Slovenia, when they finish the formal education, it takes them time to find the first job. And usually they go through the employment office. So it's very important that early on in that stage, when they're entering the labor market, they have that support. And I think a good support can be an employment officer who is very, very well skilled and has the time, to appropriate to that young person, and doesn't have 100 or 150 people to taking care of. So I think that's also an issue or a problem that needs to be addressed. Thank you.
Thanks, Katya. I think, this is a common problem to all countries, I believe, not just in yours or in Italy. Okay, thank you for these thoughts. Now it's time for some questions from the participants. If you have any, please. Just to remind, the fact that the project is over means that all that we produced now start to work. Because during the project it was the testing phase, so the hub is open and free for you to use it, to register, etc. So any questions to our presenters? Maybe we were very detailed and everything is quite clear. Okay. Any thoughts from our presenters? Anything else you wish to add?
Maybe I would invite our guests to register on the platform, either as mentors or mentees. You can send the link to people you know who might find it useful, because it is really useful. Young people who had problems with entering the labor market. So you can send it to them so they can register and make use of the materials.
And enhance their skills.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Okay, so we are looking for the next. I'm not going to say project, because we cannot work only on projects, because this is more of a mission to help our young people to enhance their skills and to find a good, suitable job for them, desirable one. So this is an effort that we all should do all the time, not just implementing EU-funded project. So we will continue the work. The eHub will be available for the let's say at least for the next 5-10 years, maybe more. Hopefully, it will be. It will not be static, but more of a dynamic product. We will enrich it further on because we all work with young people. We have career centers and we work with our students, etc. So more new things are to come in the eHub in the next year. So again, please register and use it and spread the good word, the good news. Okay. Again, for one last time, any questions for our presenters or any opinions you liked or disliked what you saw today? We taking advices, of course. No? Okay, then it was a real pleasure to have you all here. Thank you to all the presenters for the great presentations. I think that we really achieved something. Is there a hand? No, I cannot see. Anyway, if someone wants to add something, just please go. Don't raise hand, because for some reason I cannot see all. Okay. So even with all the difficulties with the pandemic and the fact that we were not able to meet each other as often that we wanted to and we planned to, I think we achieved better results, and they will get even better in the future. Thank you, guys. Thanks to our partners. It's been an amazing project, and I wish you luck and success in the future. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mario. Thank you, Vuzefe, for all the coordination.
Thanks.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Have a nice day, and keep in touch. Talk soon.
Yeah. Bye.
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 Bye.